BYDFi is a crypto exchange on desktop and mobile where you can spot trade, futures trade, use leverage tokens, and copy the trades of top traders. If you sign up with the link in the description, you get a free $100 when you deposit $100. There's hundreds of crypto available on their spot exchange, as well as a free test account so you can practice futures trading without getting wrecked. BYDFi. Hello everybody, welcome back. Let's get a bit of an overview of this market, then we'll move over to Bitcoin. I'll do a video later, I think, on Algorand, to be honest with you. I know what it sounds like, but I will do one. Right, so let's start with the euro dollar. So yeah, we did end up yesterday with a bit of green. So I was saying, basically the summary of yesterday's video is that, yeah, we're moving down, everything's going a bit red. I think we're going to close the day green, and the euro is, for me, the barometer of all market health. So on the daily, we're trickling down still. This is not a good look for it, I suppose. However, the weekly shows the support on the Bollinger Band Center, and it actually still just shows a series of higher highs, higher lows. So as far as the euro dollar is concerned, to be fair, we're looking for a bounce here. And to be honest with you, provided we can hold this level, which sits around 109.16, we're basically looking for a new local high to form on this one. And I recognise the pump signal is over here. I know that there's obviously other things at play, central banks and blah blah blah, all that noise that comes along on in traditional markets. But as far as the chart and trend is concerned, it does seem okay. No bearish divergence on this run, and again we are just sweeping down at what is probably a buy the dip on the euro for another move up. Now, if we get rejected and create a higher low, then that's different. So any one of these moving averages between now and next week, if we get rejected, especially if we can't reclaim this box, definitely, then yeah, we're probably looking for a turnaround on this one, as in like a change of trend, change of direction. But for the moment, I don't really see that. At the moment, but I do see just a series of higher highs and higher lows without any reason to be particularly concerned. Not quite yet. But remember, losing this area down here, we entertain very realistically 107.9, 107.4, and then that's it. Sentiment change, general change of direction. Same thing would go for the Dixie. Now, the Dixie is in this a descending triangle formation with the resistance up at 103.2 and a little bit higher than that, 103.5. And if we did break from there, we've got a sideways range as well, 105.2. All of this would be fine for just rejection as well. So it's too early to say that the dollar's broken bullish. Not really seeing it, not quite yet. Let's have a quick look at pound to euro, which is slowly losing its uptrend, which is unfortunate. There was a rate hike obviously yesterday, a pretty measly one. Doesn't look very good across the board, to be honest with you, for the old British pound. Long term, we might have reached a peak on this one, but we'll see. We'll see. So that's enough of that boring forex stuff. Long story short, it's always focused on the euro, and the euro is currently still doing higher highs, higher lows. So here's the S&P Futures. A bit of a bounce taking place from a non-area on the daily, getting rejection so far on the Bollinger Band Center. So we want to reclaim this area. If we're looking for a new local high. Remember my skepticism when listening to people on Bloomberg when they start talking about, S&P is definitely going to go to 5,000. Whereas I remember when I called the low on this, they would say, oh no, S&P will not see 4,000 again for a long time, maybe never. And it went up to it. So, I mean, normally, when you are listening to these large outlets like Bloomberg or whatever, and they actually start naming prices, sounds a little trappy to me, but as far as the trend is concerned, it is still up without any bearish divergence on the higher term time frames. It's just the shorter term time frames that offer maybe a little bit further downside before a bounce. We're quite close to generating a short signal here, so to be honest, if we start to close this 4 hourly lower than where we are at right now, so below 4,500, would generate a short signal on a 4 hourly with the Ichimoku cloud. So just be aware of that. Again, stocks, you do have to be very careful buying stocks up at this level. I'm not saying that they can't go higher, but I think that for the vast majority of stocks, they've had their fun. The party is maybe over. Really, it's a profit-taking area for me, and I took profit on most of my stocks over the last couple of weeks, so it's been a good year. Let's not forget that. It's been a good year so far. I mean, we're August now, and it's basically we've only really known upside, which is absolutely not what people were thinking a year ago. So, gold. actually losing their support here. That's fine. That's no big deal. I think we're approaching a really decent opportunity for longs and things. Right now, after losing this area and getting another retest of it today, I'll probably look for a little lower on this one before we actually do try and buy the dip on this one. Probably 1907. We're talking 200 simple or exponential moving average around these levels. A bit further downside on gold is no big deal. This could end up being an accumulation. So we've got the breakdown after losing this area and retest here. Decent move, basically V-shaped recovery on the area, but not enough to hold it. So we'll see if we can get some positions on gold around these areas down here. We'll see. I'm not looking to play gold unless we come down to a major area. So with that, what's going on our best mate Bitcoin? What's she doing today? So on the 3-day, for some reason I'm on the 3-day, let's take away from that. But the 3 days seemed okay. So the daily getting rejections on Bollinger Band, so still dripping down, dropping slowly but surely, probably back down towards the 28,500. And again, you know, while being above there is every reason to assume that we will retain prices above there. This is like a really decent support zone. Similar to that of the euro, if you take it to the weekly, we can see the weekly's Bollinger Band center is ever so slightly above that 28,500. Really decent place for it to be held, to be honest with you. 65% more likely to maintain this area, and the top of the band is back up towards our previous high, so around 31,500 or so. So look, we're in a cloud. You know, normally when you're trading within a cloud as a non-event. I made a YouTube short video just to explain this area, this $32,000 zone. It's not trivial at all. Once you break from here, you really will be seeing something massive, a really big move. It's the equivalent of what I would consider to be the previous $12,000 zone, really. So breaking that, you just probably see some really serious parabolic moves, probably into the upper 40s. And you know what? It could even blast up to and beyond our previous all-time high, but at the moment we don't really see that kind of momentum or anything like that. It's just a very realistic expectation once you break out of this area. If this ends up being a consolidation from this zone, it will highlight the fact that this is a significant top, and we will be trading between 32 and maybe back down to 20 or so, which again, you know, has been my overall vibe of how this bull market's going to mature. Bitcoin itself fannying around within a range of 20 to 40,000. That would be the accumulation for the most part of the bull run before we break out and go to some serious all-time highs. It's not for me to tell you where it's going to be. I don't know. But new all-time highs, almost certainly. Later on down the line, definitely. So yeah, in the short term, seems to be okay as long as we're above 28,500. So a quick look at Ethereum. Is Ethereum doing anything the same? Ethereum is actually losing these areas on the weekly. So actually for Ethereum, the 21 exponential is what's being held. 18, 13, you lose that area, you're probably back down to the Bollinger Band bottom, which is around 17. Worthy of a dip by probably around $1,700, to be honest with you. Momentum dribbling out as well, similar to what you'd expect, seeing Bitcoin doing the same thing as well. Intermediate bounce maybe on the daily around 1788, but 17 is probably your more realistic area on this chart, to be honest. And the 4 hourly, yeah, it's just down really. Yeah, just dribbling down. So 1,700 for Ethereum, 28,500 for Bitcoin. That's a brief summary of what the price action is looking for, and then maybe a bounce around there. That would mimic the direction of gold, which was to come down further. S&P again slightly different, but we are getting close to a short signal. The euro trying to reclaim and build up higher highs, higher lows. And if we do that, all the markets will go with it. We'll see what happens around those levels. But for the moment, Bitcoin is probably going to be between a range of as low as 28,500, major area to focus on, and all the way back up to its previous local high. And we'll call it 31,500. This is currently the range, but in the short term, direction still points down for a potential bounce up that could take us back up to the top of the range. Given the fact that the euro has not changed its general direction, higher highs, higher lows, that for me says that all markets should point to that direction, provided we can hold the higher highs, higher low structure. If we lose the higher high, higher low structure, I think we see a consolidation across the board for absolutely everything But for the moment, the euro is managing to hold on to that structure. So so long as the euro is okay with that, we shouldn't expect big breakdowns on anything. We should just expect their charts to continue doing what they want to do. And the charts do point to further downside just on their own merit. But the broader picture, of everything based around the euro does still point to further upside, which is range bound for Bitcoin, possibly new local high for S&P, and maybe even a turnaround on gold. But stocks technically have the upper hand in the short term if the euro can hold its current price and higher. Right, it's pretty simple, I suppose. I know it sounds like there's a lot there, but really it's not. Focus is mostly on the euro. The euro will tell us which direction everybody wants to go. If we break structure on the euro, then we will continue down for probably a prolonged period of time in the form of a normal consolidation until that structure, the downtrend for the euro, has finished. And we don't know how long that would take. Recognise that I'm relatively afraid of oil prices. This is my main concern in all markets, and it's the $83 zone for a barrel of oil. Any higher than that is probably guaranteed to consolidate, I would say, all other markets. But we'll see what happens. But yeah, that's also another thing to think about. Keep oil in the corner of your eye. Breaks and closures above 83. Yes, let's not hold our breath for any new all-time highs anytime soon, because this will give us higher CPI reads later on down the throughout the year. Right, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you have a nice day. Take it easy.